Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pitstop Fracas. I'm your host Anik, and today I am joined by Richard, Kunle, Kwame, and Mahad. And considering it's been 2 weeks since we've had any racing, we've got a very special episode lined up for you today. We thought, we would give ourselves a little challenge and pin ourselves up against each other in what we like to call our young driver F1 draft. But before we get into that, we should check on our panelists and how they're doing. It's been a couple of weeks without any racing, so let me check in on you guys. How you keeping first and foremost, Kunle? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. But yeah, I'm starving. We need that F1 back.
Yeah, man, we need that F1 back, man. That especially after Bahrain, man. I just need to see some racing, bro. What about you, Richard? How you keeping?
I'm not too bad, man. I'm not too bad. I mean, I don't know who decided the 3-week break between Bahrain and Imola would be a good idea, but honestly, it's felt like the past 2 weeks have felt like a month, really. So the only positive is that there's only a week left. So it's basically race week from tomorrow. So the sooner we get racing back, the better, really.
100%, man. Yeah, I just need to get some racing back. But don't worry. We'll get into it, man. We got a special episode lined up today. Kwame, how you keeping?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. I mean, I'm very excited for this, for this episode here. I think it's a very unique idea talking about the draft, about the future of F1 drivers coming up here. And also this week, I'm excited for it. Gyms are going to be open up again. I get a haircut again. And F1's at the end of weekends. It's going to be lit.
Yeah, bro. If you haven't noticed already, man, I've been rocking the baseball cap for 3 weeks now on the pod, man. Flipping, I need these barbers to be opened up, man, because trust me, it's getting a bit sticky still. Anyway, touching on the F1 draft, we're going to do a bit of scouting ourselves. I want to call ourselves the La Masia now when it comes to driving, and we've got a resident Barcelona fan here, Mahad. How you keeping, bro?
I'm on edge.
You on edge? Why are you on edge?
Because of El Clasico yesterday, a big loss. But I'm happy with Formula One. It's been 84 years since the last F1 race.
84 years, bro.
That's what it feels like anyway. But for real, Imola needs to come. It needs to come quick because I'm suffering out here. Honestly,
I mean, it better be an exciting race as well, man.
I was watching
the last one.
I was watching Formula E today, and I was thinking, it don't hit the same, man. Sounded like my Uber, man.
Well, you get
I had to get used to
and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, man. But
to be honest with you, Formula. Now go on, sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Formula E. I think you have to get used to it. It's good, some good racing, but it just don't sound right, Well, go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, I was just say it is. I did watch the highlights of it today. It does look too bad. I mean, pity all right to be fair, but that sound, man, honestly, it just sounds like real life scale electrics. It comes and all that shit. It's just like, nah, fam. Sounding like my Dyson Hoover or some shit. Like, who wants to hear that for an hour straight or whatever? It's just if they can sort the sound out a bit and I don't know, make them less wide, perhaps. Sounds a bit hypocritical because of how bad the F1 cars are. Then it'll be alright, but nah, man. As I said, we're suffering out here. We need F1 back.
Yeah, 100%, man. We need F1 back. But I suppose touching on the Formula E stuff, I think that will eventually end up being the future. I like the way that, they can give cars a boost and stuff. We'll probably touch on it in a future pod, to be honest with you. But look, guys, enough about other motorsport racing series. Let's come back to Formula One. Let's come back to the topic of today, which is Pitstop Fracas' very own inaugural young driver F1 draft. This was something actually that was put in the WhatsApp group, and we thought, you know what, we'll give it a shot. So the rules are fairly simple. You have a hypothetical scenario where you have a new F1 team and you've got unlimited resources. Those unlimited resources have given you a top tier car that's equivalent to a Mercedes or Red Bull, as an example. And from myself and the 4 panelists I have with me today, we need to come up with 2 drivers that we think will dominate Formula One for the next decade. And there's 2 rules within this. The drivers have to be under 25 and they can come from the F1, F2 or F3 championships. The format that we're going to follow is a 2-round system following a snake path, which basically means whoever gets The last pick in the first round will get the first pick in the second round. So yeah, guys, that's basically it. In summary, we have a short list of drivers which we'll go through iteratively between each person, and we're going to try and convince ourselves and the rest of the guys on the stage why we chose that driver, and why we think they're going to dominate for the next few years. So the list of drivers that we have are Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, George Russell, Lando Norris, Lance Stroll, Mick Schumacher, Pierre Gasly, Yuki Tsunoda, Oscar Piastri, Theo Pourchaire, Liam Lawson, and Robert Schwartzman. Okay, that was a long enough list for you guys. Hopefully you managed to take it all down. You've done your research. You've done your background work. Let's get into it. Now, the order which we're going to go through is starting off with, I don't know who's first. What did I put in the WhatsApp chat? Okay, Richard is first. Mahad is second. Kunle is going to be third. Then myself, followed by Kwame. And then we're going to go in reverse order. So then coming back on the second round, Kwame, myself, Kunle, Mahad, Richard. Whew, enough of me talking there. How do you guys feel about this? Who's feeling the bravest? Who's feeling the strongest? Who's going to come out on top?
I don't know, man. You see that order, yeah? It looks like it feels, I don't know if it's been vetted by anybody, but I see a certain Mr. Horner might have put a few complaints in and put himself second pick, but it is what it is.
We got a few reports. We had a few reports. Mahad said, "Nah, there maybe some payments made to Touchline Media Group or whatever." I don't know what happened, but Mahad's ended up coming second. I don't know how that's happened, but it is what it is.
You know what? In this scenario for this pod, yeah, I'll be Mahad Horner because I can make a dream team. You know, experience, principle. This is what's going to happen. So no dodgy stuff going on here. I'll go straight to the FIA. If I see any dodgy picks going on. But yeah, I'm ready to go. Let's do it. Ready to dominate.
That's good. That's good, man. It's been 8 years. It's been 8 years since Horner's, dominated or won that trophy. So hopefully you can see what you're doing over at La Masia, and he might be able to take some advice or tips from you, Mahad. Fingers crossed, mate, on that.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
All right, guys, let's get into it. So the first person who's getting to choose first is Richard. So Richard, take the floor, mate. Which one are you going to pick? And give us your reasons why.
Right. So my first pick is a guy who doesn't like to claim his home country for whatever reason, but let's not get into that right now. He is someone who's been in F1 for, it feels like 16 years, but only he's up to the 7th year. And also, who's a guy who's very, say overrated, but people like to get a bit excited over him a bit too much. However, despite that, I do rate him quite highly. I do think he's a very good driver. I do think he will be a multiple world champion. And that is a certain man's son, a.k.a. Maximilian Verstappen.
So you are picking Max Verstappen, the guy who you've not been the biggest fan of. You're picking Max now.
Well, I'm not a fan of him personally, but I am a fan of him as a driver. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So I do think he's that's the thing. I do think he's a bit of an arsehole. Yeah. I think a lot of people can agree on that. But as a racer, I think he's top quality. He's not on Lewis's level. I don't think he'll ever get to Lewis's level, but that's not to be ashamed of because Lewis is on a different stratosphere altogether. So, as I said, I feel like if this guy doesn't end up with more world championships than a certain Spanish bum, I would be very surprised because he's got a high ceiling. He's only 23. He's got at least 15 years in the game. It's still left. So that's plenty of time for him to rack up some world championships, even go on a little run. So, yeah, my first pick is Max Verstappen.
Guys, thoughts on that? I mean, on the surface, looking at the list, Max Verstappen is probably going to be most people's first pick. How are we feeling about that, guys? Richard taking up Max Verstappen.
Well, I'm quite shocked. I was. If we look back at the history of the pods and Richard's just his opinion on Max, for him to again go pick Max is absolutely extraordinary.
That's shamelessness, bro. That's just
it's shamelessness to the highest level. in his just the soliloquy that he just went through, you know, the little speech that he just did, he did some side comments as well, saying, "Oh, he's overrated." How can you pick somebody that's overrated?
No. I said some people like to get a bit overexcited with him. Is that what I said? I'm not saying he's overrated. I said people like to be a bit over the top, but that doesn't mean you're not good, and that doesn't mean you can't get rated. I'm just saying people like to be over the top with it. For example, Martin Brundle, not Kwame Brundle, Martin Brundle said he's what would he say after Bahrain? Something to do with two of the greatest drivers. Yeah. He was sort of chatting all that, and I thought Martin's not really one to like mince his words or like say stupid stuff like that. So I thought, okay, I can see where people are getting a bit overexcited. I can see desperation since last season that people are so eager on Max to beat Lewis. And it's a bit like, he's good, but come on, like Lewis is on a different stratosphere. So that doesn't mean I don't rate him. I do rate him. I just think people like you are just gas him up a bit too much. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
All I've ever said is that he's the second best driver on the grid. Do you agree with this statement?
You said other things in the WhatsApp, but we'll leave that to another day, innit? When we do a quarter of agenda on Max, we'll see what time it is, innit? Today we haven't got time. We'll have got plenty of time in the season. We'll do a quarter of agenda on your boy, and we'll bring up the receipts, and then we'll see the same what, innit?
Yeah, we got the receipts. We got the receipt. Actually, we caught. There's a Discord live as well, but we'll make sure.
4K, yeah, 4K loud.
Yeah, 8K, UHD, all that shit.
I'm there. I don't run. I don't hide, and it's a shameless pick by you, considering lots of people rate Charles Leclerc. You know, they say I saw that quite a lot today, recently, just on the timeline, just in the stratosphere. Charles Leclerc is a better driver than Max Verstappen. That is not facts. That is incorrect information. Whoever's peddling in that nonsense is ridiculous. People that say Charles Leclerc, if he was an equivalent car, he'd be beating Max. No, because he was in a Ferrari that was better than Max's car, and he did not beat him on points. We saw what happened in Belgium, 2019, where a certain gentleman called Leclerc got cooked. Okay, so I don't want to hear nothing about Leclerc. Well. Max is Austria as well.
Austria,
yeah. It was Austria. It wasn't.
Yeah.
But I don't want to hear.
Boy, what's going on here?
I'm backing my boy. He's the second.
Yeah, I'm backing him too. See, all
right.
See, so there we go. Richard's backed him.
Is this the only time? Okay, so everybody bookmark this. Listeners, bookmark this. We are aligned on our thinking of Max. That's it. There's no more like if I rate Max in a race in the future, I don't want him to say no. Like don't do that.
Person. I've already said I don't like him as a person. I rate him as a driver. Just because I think he's toxic doesn't mean I don't think he can't win world championships. I think he can. It's just that he's a bit of a, bit of an asshole. That's it.
It looks like a dick. Richard, just say he looks like a dick.
Yeah, I don't want us to get we can't monetize off this. Else I'd say other words, but trying to protect the brand. Also saying, he's a bit of a that's it.
How are you going to manage that as a team principal? That's what I want to know.
So we'll find out. We'll come on to that, Mahad. When it comes onto Richard's second pick, we'll see how he does. We've seen Max against a lot of teammates so far. We'll see, depending on Richard's second pick, how he could potentially do it. And obviously, we'll leave the vote. Put the poll out on Twitter. We'll make sure that we get the votes in, and whoever gets the most votes ultimately wins. So yeah, Richard, you got to be very careful with your second pick, because this is Max. Yeah, this is Max Verstappen. Yeah. Guys, 7 years, yeah. If I speak on him, I'm in big trouble. But
you'll be arrested.
Keep quiet. I'm gonna keep quiet on that for now. Yeah,
that's why I'm not speaking either.
I'm keeping quiet. But guys,
it's a shameless speak, but I respect it.
I respect it, Richard. To be fair, you got to win. You got to win at all costs. So I appreciate the Max Verstappen pick. I've actually noted it down. So you've got Max. Second pick, Mahad. Who are you picking, mate? Who are you picking?
We're going to take a little trip down to Monaco. We're going to pick a gentleman called Charles Leclerc. And the reason why is he's already shown that he can be a top driver in a top team. When Ferrari was a top team, they're no longer a top team. He's how many wins? He's had 2 wins, got 7 poles, he's a good qualifier. To put him in the right machinery, he's going to do what he needs to do. He can get fastest lap. He's a very, very quick driver. He does have some deficiencies in his driving style, but I think that comes with maturity, especially with his rashness in going into corners and him leaping at people, especially like the likes of Vettel, Perez in Sakir. But I think the future is really, really bright for him. And Ferrari, they threw in the bag. They gave him the longest contract I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
they know
5-year contract.
They know what time it is. And I'm taking him away from Ferrari and I'm throwing in the bag. I would have picked Max, but certain gentlemen pick Max. So I will pick Leclerc because out of this bunch, out of the list we've got, I think he's the second most talented driver, and it's a no-brainer. I want guys that have won races. That's what I want. I want proven winners.
Definitely, yeah, mate. To be honest, I can see where you're coming from.
Hold on there, Mahad Horner. Didn't you about 2-3 minutes ago just start blasting Leclerc?
Bruh.
Now all of a sudden you want to pick him.
You know,
if you really felt that way about him, you would have picked someone else like Yuki. You could pick Stock. You would have picked George. You would have picked like George, yeah, or don't? Yeah, I don't know. You would have picked any of these other men. You was just blasting Leclerc just then.
I had to slander him. I had to do it for the sake of Max. You have to understand.
You know what, guys?
I had to say this. I had to say it because people are telling me that Charles Leclerc is better than Max. That is not the case. You've took Max off the board. Therefore, I've had to pick the second best driver out of the under 25s, which is Charles Leclerc.
Yeah,
you got stock in him, yeah?
I've got stock in Leclerc. I've got stock in Leclerc.
Oh, okay.
You're a shameless man.
I just don't think he's better than. I don't think he's better than Max.
Because you just been blasting me just then for picking Max because I don't like him as a bitch.
I didn't blast you. I blasted the people out there, the ones that are listening, our viewers that actually think.
You said it was a shameless pick.
That is not the case. You're in delusions.
You are shameless. You are actually shameless for picking Leclerc. You was just blasting him just then, saying he got bullied. This ends at that ends. I'll pick him though.
You know what? Yeah, I know there might be some Marvel fans out there. You know about Thanos. It's about balance. You know, you have to sacrifice one thing to save another. I had to save the reputation of Max, and I sacrificed Charles. And then guess what? I resurrected Charles because he's better than the rest of these dons. It. Yeah. That's my rationale.
If there's anything we can take away from this, guys, viewers, listeners out there, Pitstop Fracas cast are an absolute shameless bunch. They will say one thing 1 minute and completely contradict it the next minute just to win. And that's why I respect Richard and Mahad for, definitely. 100%.
Nah, it's too shameless. It's too shameless, man. Nah, come on.
Guys, I want to quickly come to Kwame on this. So, you know, let's just bring it back to Charles Leclerc himself. What have you been impressed by throughout his past couple of years in Formula One? What have you seen about him? And to be honest, why was that a shrewd selection from Mahad?
I mean, I think it's just with Charles, it's just the way he just quickly adapted up the field. He done brilliantly in that Sauber, Michigan, points in every other race. I remember comparing to his team at the time, Ericsson, who got none, got the move to Ferrari. And he started winning races in his debut, winning races at Monza and the home circuit for Forest, the big thing. Beating Vettel, who was, we talked about Vettel last week, but you know, a 4-time World Championship winner, and he just blasted him out the window and done it again the season after. Jamie in F1, don't forget this is his 4th season now. He's been in for a short amount of time.
I think it's only his 3rd season.
Third season.
Yeah.
Fourth
season. Yeah,
he's done 3 seasons. This is his 4th. Same age as Max, if I'm not mistaken, both 23. And he's levels with Max. He's been in for an extra 3 years as well on top of that. So it's a good pick for both of you guys.
Fair enough.
He's not level with Max. Let me just clarify that. But he's a good driver.
You two are so shameless, man. You two are so shameless. You do anything to win. But guys, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it stepping. Next selection, our Canadian himself, Kunle, coming over to you, bro. Hope you can hear us loud and clear over there. Next selection is on you, mate.
So personally, I'm not as shameless as certain man. You know, unfortunately, my peak got picked out of the bunch, which would have been Charles. But I would go with someone who I have some belief in, and I feel like he can do great things in a great car. And we'll keep it British. We'll go with Lando Norris. You know,
Nice.
His time in F1 has been consistent. You know, he's not been, at no point has he been overshadowed by a teammate. Decent, he puts in decent laps in qualifying when he can, you know, on the race weekend too. On Sundays, he's there, you know, he's one of probably the most popular overtakers on the grid. You know, no race weekend goes without Landon Norris overtaking at least 2 or 3 drivers, to my recollection. You know, he's always there consistently, and he's not been in a good of a machine as the first 2 picks. So in a good machine, I believe he can do bits, you know, and the fans love him. So, you know, we'll be getting some good PR from that, and we'll also be getting some good racing. So yeah, Lando Norris.
Yeah, definitely. But I think that's a very wise selection. I think he's had Sainz's number the past couple of years. He's done really well. I've been impressed with him. There's a reason why McLaren wanted to capture him so early in his obviously short F1 career. I like to say he's a bit of an artist on track. I like the way he applies himself on track. I like the way in which he's really good at qualifying, the overtakes he makes, and really what stands out to me last year was the Austria race when he had to close within to 5 seconds of Lewis and he managed to nail it on the last lap. That was one of the key highlights that I saw from last year, and I thought this guy, he is a talented driver that will definitely go a long way in Formula One. So yeah, good choice on that, guys. Any other thoughts on Lando Norris that myself or Kunle haven't touched on yet?
That was a good pick. I'm not gonna lie. He was on my board. He's only 21, which is really young compared to the other drivers.
We've got about 10 years out of him, you know, at least.
McLaren's going to bleed him dry. They're going to get everything out of him.
100%.
And yeah, like you just said with Austria last year, he was absolutely fantastic. He's so quick, and he's had a short career in F1, but it's been really good. And he's only improved as he's been here. And we saw the other day in Bahrain, got 4th. I think he's had 61% point finishes, which is absolutely nuts for somebody that's
very good.
When it's somebody that's only been here like 2 years, I think, just coming onto 3. Fantastic pick. I rate that.
Yeah, very good pick. Right, let me load down Lando Norris for Kunle. All right, guys, my pick now, 4th pick in the first round. Guys, I'm gonna have to pick someone who has quoted, "If in doubt, go flat out," and that is George Russell. For me, this guy can go very far in the world of Formula One. You know, he in his first season he outqualified Robert Kubica in I think all 21 races. We all know he hasn't had the best machine underneath him during his time at Williams, but he's shown that he has the potential to become a world champion, in my view. He won the F2 championship in 2018. And, you know, for me, perhaps the game changer is that Mercedes have invested so much into this guy. And if the big Donnies are investing into this guy and have got so much time for him, there must be something about him. And there must be something special about him. Obviously, we all know what happened last year in Bahrain, the Outer Ring Grand Prix, where he was in Lewis's car. So, you know, he had to adjust himself to fit in that car. And obviously, the way in which the events panned out wasn't the best from him. And it was quite heartbreaking because he had a race win snatched away from him purely down to the team. But I think just from that race alone, you saw that this guy is so quick. He missed out on pole by the slimmest of margins. And if he has, in my view, a car that is suited to him, that is tailored to him, he could go very far. So for me, my first driver that I would have in my team would be George Russell. Russell the Rocket. That's what I'm going to call him. So yeah, I'm going to have him as my first driver. Any thoughts on that, guys? I think I've made the shrewdest decision there.
Yeah, I
No
totally
comeback?
agree.
That's a good pick.
No,
That's a good pick.
Yeah, I
I'm
totally
not
agree,
mad at
especially-
it. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It was on
All
my
right.
board.
That's fine. Put GR in there. Okay, so the final choice in the first round is down to you, Kwame. Who you picking?
I mean, this has been a tough choice. I think all the drivers here. Well, the first two options were obviously Verstappen or Kunle. That's gone. I think them two are around the same, territory. Russell and Lando, again, same territory. Came up together as well from GB2 to F1. So it leaves me either, as I say, I'm trying to go for an experienced driver for my first seat in my team.
Yeah,
And I say
makes sense.
it leaves me between Stroll or Gasly. I'm gonna go for the Frenchman. No, not from Canada. The one from actual France. I'll go for our quote unquote star boy in the Pitstop Fracas community. Some people question him, but
to be fair, on that point, it probably needs to come under question now. It's been a few reports, bit of PR. We had a few comments in, so we may need to revise our decision on our star boy for this year. But I respect Gasly, mate. Why him? Why him as your number one driver?
Yeah, listen, I feel like he's won GB2 in the past. He's even done it in Japan and came second there. He outperformed his teammate in his first year, Brendan Hardy, who was a Le Mans winner, 29-4, which is amazing. Goes to Red Bull, it didn't work out. We all know how it worked out. We all know how it worked out there. He flopped, came back to Toro Rosso, AlphaTauri. But I feel like since he's came back, it's just clicked into form with him. I feel like stuff that's happened in his personal life, listening to his boy, Anton Hubert, who, if alive, would be on this list as well. I feel like that's just kicked him into gear. He had that podium in Brazil, I'm pretty sure.
Brazil.
Brazil. Taking advantage of
2019.
Albon situation with Lewis, and he won the race in Monza. And that race, I think, showed to a lot of people. Some people can say it's a fluke, but it showed that if he has the right strategy, after I remember it's a midfield car as well, he can win a race, and he won it fair and square. And even though it's one race, he hasn't had a great start. I feel like he's a very good driver. He's matured and pretty level-headed, and that's my first pick, Pierre Gasly.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Fully agree with that. And again, really good choice. But you know what, guys? There's still some big hitters left as we enter round two. So Kwame, obviously, you got the last pick. You got the short straw in the first round, but now when it comes to second round, you got the first pick. So so now in your second driver, as part of the second round of drivers that we're going to be choosing, who are you going for?
There's a lot of good drivers here. I'm going to go for a younger candidate here. I'm going to go for the first driver in that F1 history to be born in the 2000s. We're talking about the possible new star boy in the crew, partnering his teammate in real life as well. They go for the Japanese man, Yuki Tsunoda. I mean, that guy, Yuki.
This man has robbed AlphaTauri, man. He's robbed them of both their drivers.
Hey, listen,
he's taking it from AlphaTauri.
This is Alpha Kwame, man. Like that lineup is a very good lineup. I did say in the preview that I feel like if their car is good, I feel like it could be a good season for them. Yuki's rise up the ranks rapidly. Last season, Formula 2 was his first year in the series where it's a series where the experienced drivers do well. You saw Shimi in second year, Ireland in second year. It takes a lot of time to adapt with the tires over there, but he came up towards the end and he came third. 1 point of Ireland to come second as well. He done a similar job in F3. Even though he came ninth, the team was a back marker. He won races with them, scoring all their points. And listen, I feel like he's going to do big things. We saw how he did in Bahrain, coming ninth in his debut, GP, which was a very rare feat. The other person to do that was Stoffel, and I don't know when, but yeah, he's a good driver. I mean, I say calm down the hype, but I'm on the hype train. I've got stops in this guy. I've got stops in this kid. Yeah, I feel like it could be Japan's big hope. Hopefully, you get him a race win. Hopefully, that he deserve.
That Mahad PR working, That Mahad PR working. I've been campaigning, so I've got Kwame on board. Richard's on board.
Yeah,
Listen, we're
I
starting
dipped
that.
in. I dipped in it. I dipped in a bit. You know, I bought some fuel
Okay,
stocks.
Kunle.
You know, the
Okay.
value is currently low, so you know, we'll sell it when it's high. But I got a few. I respect
Anybody
it.
out there want to join UK Hive? I am the CEO. So yeah, excellent pick. I feel sorry for AlphaTauri because they're no longer a 6, but let's look forward to Alpha Kwame. You know.
Yeah, no, that's a good lineup though. That's a
That's a
decent
good one.
lineup.
That's a good one. So we got a first
That's a
lineup
decent
in. We've
lineup.
got Gasly and Yuki. I
It's
mean,
a bit
it's a current lineup at the
questionable, though.
moment.
But it's a bit questionable though. You know, how
Why'd
much
you say
feedback
that?
are you gonna get? I don't know. I don't think neither of those drivers would be able to give much feedback in developing the car. Like, you know, the pure talent they got the talent, but I don't see them improving the car, you know, from a race perspective, from a team perspective.
They don't need
I
to.
mean,
They're in the top car. If they're in a car that's better than the AlphaTauri now, this is the hypothetical scenario. They're in a car that's better than AlphaTauri. They're in a Mercedes
Yeah, no.
equivalent.
Yeah.
So they should be on it. And we might see who the real star boy is, who is Yuki, by the way.
Oh, are we on a Starboy watch? Are we on a Starboy watch? Okay.
Yeah, there's a new kid in town.
Okay. All right.
I'm about to say as well, couldn't even point of developing the car as well. Just to add on what Mahad said as well. Not even that, but it's more the fact that these drivers are young. They're under 25, so a lot of them are not going to have the experience anyways to develop a car like that as much as an older head, let's say like a Hamilton could, or a Raikkonen could, or even a Kubica or Vettel could. They're young, so they're not really going to have the experience or know how to be like, change that wheel or change that ring or change the air or whatever. They're not going to have that, so they'll drive the car to their full potential as fast as they can. And you've seen with these guys, they're very quick, you know, drivers. So I'm confident on that.
Brilliant. Yep, we've got you down. So Gasly and Yuki. Yep. So as we're following the reverse order, I have the next pick. And guys, I'm going to choose this one based purely on F1 heritage and the name, the family name that comes with Formula One, that goes hand in hand. I'm going to have to pick Mick Schumacher. Now, I know he's only had one race in Formula One, and I know we've had, you know, their sons join their fathers in Formula One, going back to Rosberg, etc. But this guy, from what I've seen him do in the feeder series right up to F1, he can carry this burden. He can carry that expectation. His dad is the greatest ever, well, one of the greatest ever F1 drivers. Probably Hamilton will probably surpass that this year. But to have that level of, to have that burden on your shoulder and enter Formula One and enter it so seamlessly and smoothly, it really is a testament to the guy. And he's not just doing it because of his name. He's doing it because he genuinely, I know I touched on it about it being a heritage, but he's definitely warranted it. You know, he clinched the F2 title last year. You know, he won the F3 title, I'm sure, in 2018. And it's not just because of his name that he's getting there. He's doing it genuinely based on merit. Now, he's got a lot more to do, obviously, in Formula One, but how much more do you want to do? He's only had one race. You know, there's the suggestion that he takes time for him to understand and work with the car, which is fair enough and it's understandable. But if you can push that machinery to the upper echelons, which I am pretty sure he could do, and he's got a proven track record of doing that, especially in F3, I feel as though he could work very well with George Russell and you know, take this team forward. You know, you got George Russell, who I would consider the main driver initially, but you got Mick Schumacher, who can learn off him first couple of years, and then, you know, nothing wrong with him attacking George for you know, for a title charge and maybe a challenge. So yeah, for me, guys, it's going to be Mick Schumacher. It's what I would say, a shrewd choice. But I think it could work. George Russell, Mick Schumacher. I suppose looking at it now on paper, it's probably not a clear first driver. If it was for Mercedes, it probably would be George Russell. But yeah, I reckon we could see some good on-track action as well between the two. But yeah, guys, what's your thoughts on that? Mick Schumacher.
I'd say it's a good pick. I mean, I did watch Formula 2 last season, and he was very good at His qualifying was decent, but his starts and his consistency was his main thing. That guy used to just jump through the field at the starts, and with the consistency as well, he had the most podium finishes last year. And you have to, even though he didn't win like the most races, I'm pretty sure he only won 2. He got out the most podiums, which is needed, and he's that type of driver. I feel like he's quite, even though he's young, I think he's quite mature. Steady hands will get you them points, solid points that you need in the car. So I think you got a good lineup, Anik.
There you go. You answered it for me perfectly. It'd be good enough second driver. Get those consistent points. Something that Max Verstappen might need this year if he wants to get his world title. But yeah, I reckon that they're touched on it. I'm just looking at his record now. Yeah, he only won 2 races last year, but yeah, he consistently was on the podium, and he was really getting points for them. So yeah, definitely he won 4 races last year. But he was consistently getting results. Hold on, where am I? Where am I with Mick Schumacher? Let me bring up his results. How many races?
It's a heritage pick.
No, he won. No, he won 2
man.
races. He won 2 races last year, consistently in the points. Yep, my number 2 driver, Mick Schumacher, locked in. So we've got 2 teams now. Next one, Kunle. Who are you picking, bro? There's still some big hitters there. There's one big hitter that I don't know why no one's chosen. Daddy's boy, but yeah, let's see. Who are you going to go for, Kunle? Kunle, you with us, bro?
I'm going for Moneyman, Lance Stroll.
Yeah.
I feel like the kid, yes, maybe is Pops the rich guy, maybe his Pops, some argue that he's got a 007 attitude to him, but the kid can drive a car. He's been sort of consistent since he joined F1. He got a podium in his rookie year driving a Williams. He only finished 2 points behind Massa in his rookie year, and Massa had been in F1 for, I don't know, probably before Lance Stroll was born. But he's been decent. He's got podiums. He's got multiple podiums. He's got decent results, and maybe he's been a bit rash. He's been a bit outdriven by his teammate sometimes, but he's not been far back. He's qualified well. He's been on pole before, but we know how that went. Can he improve? Definitely, but is he a bum? I don't think so. I think his quality enough to be in a decent team to win a constructors title. Yeah, and I feel like the partnership, Lance Stroll, Lando Norris, that gives me a decent balance. I don't have to settle beef every time. No one's gonna come into the team meetings hot-headed. We know what we want to do. We get in there, we get in, and we get out. So yeah.
Definitely. I like that choice, bro. So Lando and Lance. Good choice. So we are on to you, Mahad, now. So you got Charles Leclerc as your main driver. Who are you picking as the second driver to Charles Leclerc?
I am picking Nikita Mazepin. No, I'm joking. I'm picking Nikita Mazepin.
I was about to close the stream then. I was going to end broadcast straight up.
I need some spinning in my life. I'm picking off the list. I'm not picking off the list. I'm picking a driver that's not in F1. I am picking.
Go for it.
Alexander Albon.
You're picking Albon.
I'm picking Albon.
It's in the rules. So yeah, go on.
He's under 25. He's under 25. He's a reserve driver for Red Bull. He's in. I don't know what that is. DMT or I don't know. Drug. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
DTM.
or something. Yeah.
I think I'm going to be that guy to give him a second chance. He's a proven F1 driver. It went very, very, very badly at Red Bull. AlphaTauri was a good driver. He had a good start at Red Bull, but it just weighed off. The pressure's too much. But what I do in my team is it's a nice environment. We'll baby him. We'll look after him. We'll give him the environment and the support that he needs. And hopefully, fingers crossed, he can be that guy. We're talking about a person that has podiums. There's a lot of people that are quite unproven on this list. I'd rather have somebody that's shown what they're about, even though it has shown to be quite bad at sometimes. But he's shown to be a quick driver. But I feel like he will get that second chance even in real life. Outside of this fantasy chance, I think he will get a second chance with another team. It might be towards the back of the grid or the middle of the grid. I just think it went really, really badly in the top team. And I think my team will succeed with Alexander Albon over any of these other F2 guys or even Ocon. I'd rather have Albon because Albon's a quick guy.
Fair enough. I guess, guys, I think if that proves one thing, that proves that out of everyone on the Pitstop Fracas cast, Mahad is the most shameless. Clearly, he's bent the rules to pick a driver that wasn't in the list. Don't worry, Mahad. I've just received the PayPal payment from yourself. So he's definitely Christian Horner in disguise because the payment has just come through. So don't worry about that. The rules have been bent for you. Don't worry, mate. We'll give you Alex Albon. Yeah.
Shameless. Shameless.
Hey.
I don't know how this happened.
Absolutely shameless.
I'm here. I'm here. Listen, yeah.
This is La Masia. This is La Masia. This is Barca, man.
I do what I got to do to win.
Do you think you're actually? You think you're actually going to win? You think you're actually going to win with Albon driving for your team?
How much has Wes paid you? Tell us how much he's paid you. What, quick 2 bills? 2 bills, catch up.
We don't disclose payments. Payments. Kunle took my guy. Lance Stroll's my guy, the most underrated guy in F1 in my eyes. Yeah. I just thought, hopefully it falls to me. But he's definitely the most underrated driver.
To be fair, I don't just have any sort of belief in Albon. Like, he might get a second chance down the line, but after that pit radio, they're racing me so hard. Come on, man. Like that, all the possible stock, it went down faster than GMC did.
Let me make this abundantly clear. I am aware of all these things, hence why I am paying him pennies to drive for my team. He's pay as you drive at the moment. I'm not gonna lie, but it's what I gotta do. I want man that I've had podiums before. This is what I got to do, man. I can't take a risk on these F2 guys. They might be really good, yeah. And I've seen a couple of them. I've seen Oscar Piastri last F2 race. He won the sprint race. He looks like he's really, really good. But I'm not taking a risk with my team. I'm picking Albon.
Fair enough, bro. I respect it. So yeah, we got one more team to fix up here. So. Yeah, man, this has been a shameless episode, man. Richard picking Max Verstappen off the cuff. Bro, we're coming back to you for the final pick in our F1 Young Driver Draft. Who are you picking for, Richard?
I'm actually going to stick to the rules, unlike a certain Mr. Horner. So I'm actually going to pick a F2 guy and put all my stock on him, and that's Oscar Piastri. To be honest with you, I don't watch a lot of F2, I can't lie to you. But I decided, for this season, I'll watch a bit of F2. So I've seen the 3 races, the 2 sprint races, the feature race, and he stood out to me a lot. Like, I think he won one of the sprint races, and for the feature race, he was on course for another podium. But then I think like Dan ticked him or someone crashed into him, like gave him like the Albon treatment or something, and he ended up finishing like 15th or something. Totally not his fault. But I've seen enough of him in terms of his racecraft and his pace to say, do you know what? I think he's next up. Even with his F3 career as well. Like, he won the F3 championship as well.
Yeah,
and he got like 2 wins and 6 podiums also as well. And even the series before that, where he came from, like Formula Renault Euro Cup, he won that as well. Yeah, he won that as well. So he's got a bit of pedigree about him as well. He even came second in the F4 championship a couple of years ago. So this guy has clearly got some talent, especially if he's winning a F2 race in the first round already, and was on course for the podium. So, yes, it's risky. He hasn't got no F1 experience. He could come up and it could be a flop. But do you know what? I'll take my chances happily. There's certain man who've even skipped F2. You've looked all right in F1 as well. So, I'm picking someone who's already won a race in F2. So, yeah, it's a bit of a risk, but I'm willing to take that risk.
You know what? I'm actually looking at him now and his performances. This guy looks a good shout. He won the championship, the F3 championship last year. His first entry into that, and he's come straight into F2 for Prema Racing, who are no slouches by any way, shape, or form. And he's already won a race with them. He's only 20 years old. This guy looks a good driver. Good pick. So you got Max Verstappen and Oscar Piastri. Kwame, any more thoughts on Piastri? I mean, I'm just coming to you. I'm just
That's
go
cool.
on.
Nah, I think he's a good pick, good driver. He's another guy. He's a guy who's got links as well with Alpine. He's in the Alpine Academy, so he could get to F1. I guess the only issue with Alpine is they got Granio Zhao and Lundgaard as well. Both them two in F2 as well, so they're trying to fight for that seat. So I think whoever gets the highest out of them three again to Formula One. But I think Oscar Piastri is a great pick. He's also backed by Mark Webber as well. So he's got links in the industry. People know he's no slouch. Again, F3 in a good championship with other guys in this list as well that we ain't mentioned, like Poucher, and guys like that. So yeah, I think it's a good pick from Richard. Good team.
Fair enough. Guys, so that's it. We have our teams. Richard, you've got Max Verstappen and Piastri. Mahad, you've got Charles Leclerc and Alex Albon. Kunle, you got the 2 L's. Hopefully you're not taking any L's with Lando and Lance. Myself, I've got George Russell and Mick Schumacher and Kwame. You've got the Alpha Tauri team. We're going to call it Alpha Kwame. It's Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda. Guys, any more on these selections? I know, Mahad, you wanted Yuki. I know you wanted Yuki badly, but sorry, mate. Kwame stole that. And to be fair, Yuki was my shout as well. I wanted to go for a little and large partnership. I wanted to go for big George Russell, little Yuki Tsunoda. They would have teared up. They would have completely teared up the grid, but it is what it is, guys.
Oh, dear me.
No, I'm just gonna say, like, Mahad, I can offer you a trade. You wanted Lance Stroll, so I can trade Lance Stroll for Charles Leclerc.
I mean,
like you don't believe in Leclerc that much.
Don't ever offer me that kind of nonsense ever again.
I'm just saying,
ever in your life.
Okay.
I mean, it makes sense.
Durex too tight, man.
Sense.
That's the driver you wanted. So
that Durex too tight, man. Blood's getting to your head, man. What kind of nonsense are you offering?
Okay. At least I offered you.
Let's do Stroll. Let's do Stroll for Albon, and then we're talking.
No, I don't rate that man. I'm not gonna put a man that I don't rate in the car. I don't rate that.
Listen,
I'm not that shameless. I'm not that shameless.
I got Leclerc. Leclerc will carry my team, man. Carry job, man. That's what we're doing, man.
I'm just gonna say Anik's team. Anik's team
one all the time.
Yeah, Anik's team is not making it out though. Not George Russell and Mick Schumacher. They're not making it out. I rate George, but they're not making it out.
Right there. I respect
you don't know, bro. You don't know, man. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. All right. Okay. All right, guys. To the viewers and listeners, we will be putting all of these selections on Twitter. Vote for your favorite one, and then we'll decide, and then we'll see who gets the bragging rights. Yeah, how does that sound? Yeah, guys. I suppose on that point, it's been a great episode. It's been full of shamelessness, full of backhand payments, full of all contentious decisions. But all in all, I think we've got a fantastic driver lineup here. Amongst all 5 of you guys, it's been really good. We've got fabulous insight into all of the drivers as well and potential upcoming stars. If you haven't followed the Twitter, make sure you follow us at Pitstop Fracas. If you're liking the video, make sure you like and subscribe. We appreciate the help, appreciate the support. Keep the conversation going on Twitter. Get us interacting. The polls will be out there. So please make sure that you get your selections in as to who you think will be the best driver lineup. I suppose, guys, on that note, that's all I have time for. Mahad, Richard, Kunle, Kwame, it's been an absolute pleasure. And until next time, I'll see you where we will be doing a Imola race review. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.